I remember being so lazy that I used to spend my whole day in bed just scrolling through social media, just reel after reel, TikTok after TikTok, or I was just binge watching TV shows and not getting anything done. I was stuck in this rut since 2020, especially after COVID. I'm sure a lot of us has gone through that. Like honestly, I don't consider it as our fault. It's the fault of all the social media companies and everyone, and they are just trying to make profit, but they have so much resources for us to get addicted to their apps, so we spend more time on there. And this cycle has continued for a long period of time. I used to get this random motivation out of nowhere. I used to go for a run, I used to buy healthy food, and then that motivation just goes away after some days. And it's very hard for us to get that going. So in this video I want to share what I have experienced. If you look at it, it's all about the commitment we are willing to put forward into different aspects of our life. So for me personally, it's 5 different aspects. One is body or physical health. Second is mind, which comes to learning, reading books and things like that. Third is friends and family, so relationship we make with people around us. Next is career for me, so how we are moving forward in life, how we are trying to grow as a person. And last is our soul, which mainly comes down to our mental health, and it includes things like journaling and meditation. Since this January I have focused on different things step by steps. I focused on my diet first. I started reading books. I started posting more videos on YouTube. I started journaling. I started meditation. I started talking to my parents about how I feel and all the emotional trauma I have gone through since childhood. I started running then. I then uninstalled all the social media from my phone. I only have YouTube now. And then I started talking to friends about my personal problems. I started telling people how they make me uncomfortable, how certain situations where I don't want to do certain things, but it's just like so much peer pressure. So I started standing up for myself. I quit bad habits like smoking, and I have given up alcohol. Now with alcohol it's very different. Like I don't want to get drunk. I might have 1 or 2 drinks here and there once a month, and that too in certain social situations if I feel like it. After that I started going to gym, and after that I started reading more, and now I am back on YouTube starting to post again after almost 3-4 weeks of break. So first of all, you need to start with phase 1, which is getting started. Now you need to understand why we become so lazy, why we don't want to get out of the bed. So it all comes down to how we have evolved over time. Now our brain is like an animal brain. It is very, very efficient in terms of it want to conserve energy, and it is very, very bad at looking at long-term benefits, such as benefit of going for run, benefit of going to gym. So it basically tells us that why you want to get up and go for running when everything is comfortable, you have eaten food, you have energy, you want to keep that energy. And do not underestimate your brain. It is very, very, very effective. There's so strong forces which is stopping you from taking those first steps. But when we are on our phone, when we are binge watching TV shows, when we are on social media, we usually get quick rewards, which usually our brain prefers. As I told you, it doesn't understand long-term rewards. When you are scrolling through social media and you are binge watching on your phone, you get that instant gratification, you get that quick dopamine hit, which brain absolutely loves. It just says give me more, so this is what we need to understand. If you suddenly start doing all the things which your brain doesn't like, you will quickly kind of give up. Try to imagine it like this. It's a very simple analogy. So imagine you are driving on a straight highway and you're just on your first gear, you're driving slowly, you are comfortable. Then you started noticing that all these cars are going really fast around you, and you want to do that as well. What will you do? Will you go from first gear to third or fourth gear? If you do that, your car will break down. So for you to drive fast, you have to go from first gear to second gear. Then you have to wait on the second gear for the speed to pick up, and then you have to go on the third gear. Then you have to wait for the speed to pick up. So it is like that. If you suddenly start doing all the random things, started going for like half an hour run, or try to do 1 kilometer run, start going to gym, or started eating salad, all the healthy food, your brain will quickly kind of like burn out, and then you will be back on your old routine where you are getting instant gratification. So the phase 1 should be just about getting started and doing things which will give you instant reward. Things like make up your bed. That will be the first thing you can do. Clean your room if it's dirty. Clean your dishes. Go for 5-minute walk. Just 5-minute walk. Just go around your house, go around your block, and just come back. That is the best thing you can do. After that, just sit back, watch movie, go on your phone again. You don't have to guilt trip yourself that you have done something and then you can't enjoy. You have taken the first step, so enjoy that. Just sit down, do this for a couple of days. Just start doing small things. For example, if you have assignment due, just sit down and think about that I'm gonna write only 1 sentence. That's it. So just sit down, write that one sentence, and then, be on your phone, watch movies, just enjoy. So after doing this for a few days, you need to move on to the second phase, which is sustaining. Over the next few weeks, again, do small things like making up your bed, going for maybe 10-minute walk this time, or maybe even 10-minute jog. Start seeing people, start seeing your friends, go play some sports with them, play some pool, play some table tennis. It doesn't have to be a physical activity. Don't go and drink. That is not what I will personally recommend. Now remember, you are doing this to sustain a habit. You are making small changes in your life. Again, imagine yourself going from gear 1 to gear 2. So this will be like a gear 2 or gear 3-ish thingy. In terms of reading more, you can start with just 1 page or 2 page of books. When you go for shopping, if you want to buy snacks, if you usually get snacks, fine, get some snacks. But if you're confused between couple of snacks, like which one to get, don't look at the flavors, start looking at the calories, see which one is the healthier option for you. When I used to go to supermarket, I started looking at calories. You will still enjoy, but that will be a healthier option comparatively. You can take it one step further as well. So for example, if you usually use sugar in your coffee or tea, if you use 2 spoons of sugar, try using 1.5 spoon. 1 spoon if you can, but like 1.5 spoon is still something you can do. It is not the end of the world. You still taste the sweetness, but that half a spoon will definitely make a difference over the weeks. And do try to avoid eating out as much as you can. Try to make food at home. Like that will always be a healthier option compared to eating out. Now there are 2 more things which I will personally recommend as well. So in this sustain phase, if you can start that will be really beneficial for you. So first of all is meditation. So if you have never meditated and you think it doesn't work for you, it's a very simple thing. Like it won't work straight away. So for example, if you start going for a run, you won't see the results straight away. Meditation is an exercise for your brain. All of these things in self-improvement is a long journey. If you start meditating, that will be really beneficial for you. Now if you might have tried one kind of meditation and it has not worked for you in the past, so I will recommend that you kind of like change what meditation you're doing. There are 112 meditation techniques. When you find which one works for you, it gets very easy. So just go through different ones. Start with 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, start with 1 or 2 minutes in a day, in the morning, in the evening, whenever you get time, and just build upon that. 1 minute for every week, and then going to 2 minutes from the next week, and then 3 minutes from the next week. In 6 months, 7 months, you will be doing a lot longer meditation, and trust me, it will be very beneficial for you in the long run. And the second thing which I want to recommend is journaling. Now with journaling, all you have to do is write down your thoughts or write down what you felt during the day and try to understand why you felt what you felt. So when you start asking yourself questions, you kind of like build up your self-awareness and you start to understand yourself more. And this is kind of very important to move into the phase 3, which is keep getting better. When you're journaling, when you start writing your thoughts, your emotions and things like that, you start to understand yourself more. You start building self-awareness, which is very important if you want to succeed in this world. Now let me tell you how motivation works. So motivation comes from like 2 different areas. It's either external motivation or internal motivation. Whenever we are motivated for a couple of days and then we get back into that rut, is usually the motivation comes from external factor, which are usually you seeing different motivational video on social media. There might be different people online which are shouting at you or telling you in different ways to do some workout or do something. So usually people get motivation from there, and then they are motivated for like a couple of days and then they get burned out. So those kind of external motivation is usually harmful for us. So we need to kind of like tap into our inner motivation, which usually comes from journaling and understanding ourselves. Now journaling doesn't have to be you writing down on diary that hello diary, today I did this. You can just start writing whatever you want on any random piece of paper. You can start typing on your phone, on your laptop, on your PC. You can even start just voice recording. It's just all about talking to yourself in a way. Now remember, there are like 2 person inside your head, like if that makes sense. One is the animal brain, which says, oh no, it's easy, like why to do anything, just sit down, it's chill, you're watching TV shows, you are getting food, like you're happy. But then there's this other us which wanna be better, thrive for more. And we have to kind of like tap into that. When you understand inner motivation and you understand your environment more, you kind of like start making changes and taking advantage of what works for you and what doesn't work for you. For example, if you don't have money to go to gym, instead of not going to gym at all and you waiting to get some money in the future, the best thing will be to start doing something today. you can do 10 push-ups today, you can go for 5 minutes of walk today. That will be still better, and you can do that till you save the money to go to the gym. And that push-up and that walk and that running will kind of like add up. It will still give you a slight advantage over many people who did not start at all. And this is how you get out of your lazy rut and get better. In the end, I want to talk about this trap, and I want you to avoid this trap at all costs. So our brain is kind of like very weird. It keeps moving the goalpost ahead and ahead. If you have been in a rut for like months and you started doing something and you made some progress, you will move the goalpost without enjoying the progress you made. At the end of the day, it's all about like being happy with yourself that yes, I went for 5-minute walk. That was better than not going for walk at all. Or I did 10 push-up and that was better than not doing any push-up at all today. So it's all about that mindset of not kind of like blaming yourself all the time, because when you're in the bed, right, and you're binge watching for months, you're scrolling on your phone for months, and your brain is kind of like blaming you that you are so lazy, you are not getting up, you're wasting your life and things like that. So why that brain, when you do something, still tells you, oh, your 5-minute walk was nothing? So tell that brain to fuck off and, you know, just be happy with yourself, like at the end of the day. And this is one of the very good benefits of journaling is, so your initial thoughts are very negative thoughts, but when you start writing them out, and you'll be like, oh, I'm not happy that I only did 5 minutes walk. But in the moment, if you ask yourself why you're not happy when you did 5 minutes walk instead of doing nothing, your brain will not be able to answer that. And when you start writing these things, or when you start speaking these things, you'll automatically start understanding, oh yeah, like you did, like, and you'll automatically start understanding that yes, you did well today. And it's all about that. We are fighting our own brain. Our brain is our biggest enemy in a way. The best thing is just say fuck off to that animal brain and keep making progress day by day. It's a long journey. The self-improvement thing is not one day thing. It's not, you know, a year thing as well. It's not even a decade thing as well. It's a lifelong journey, and it's all about starting with small, sustaining that habit, and then getting better. Remember that after watching this video, keep down your phone, you know, just do 10 push-up, and then you can start watching YouTube again. You have done something, and this is just an example, so it doesn't have to be 10 push-ups. So whatever you want to do, like if it's assignment, just, you know, just write one line. If it was eating healthy, just, you know, skip that snack. It's all about that small changes. Hopefully in the end you might have like kind of got some motivation from it, but again, look for that internal motivation, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.